All right, so we're here at the Electrify Expo in Long Beach, California, and I'm here to talk to some of the Cybertruck owners that have some of these really cool off-road rigs, something that a lot of people say Cybertrucks can't do. They can't off-road, and they're not real trucks. Well, these guys are proving otherwise. And so I want to talk to them about their experience owning the Cybertruck, as well as their mods, what's their favorite mod, and what are the things that they've done to their trucks. So let's get into the video.
Now let's talk about today's video sponsor. MagBak makes what I consider to be the best Cybertruck charging phone mount in the marketplace. What makes their mount so great is that it's made from aluminum, which not only helps with keeping the phone cool and the charger cool, but also really looks great on the center screen of the Cybertruck as it blends in and matches the backing of the screen. And it even has a really cool Cybertruck logo. It also uses 10 watts of power, so you know you're gonna get a fast and reliable charge every single time. Installation for the phone mount is a breeze. All you need to do is unpack it, take off the adhesive backing, place it onto the center screen. Keep in mind that MagBak sells both the driver's side and the passenger side phone mounts. So now both people in the front can enjoy having their phones readily available and in a position that they can view at all times. Once the mount is in position, all you need to do is hold it in place for a few seconds, plug it in, and you're ready to go. MagBak couldn't have made it any easier, and I really, really appreciate that. I have used this mount many, many times. I never had any issues, never had any problems with my phone falling off the mount, even when I'm doing some off-roading and the occasional drifting. Overall, I highly recommend the Cybertruck charging phone mount by MagBak, and if you would like to get one for yourself, you can use the QR code which is on the screen, and I will also leave a link in the description below. You can also use my coupon code BUTTER15 to get 15% off your purchase. Thank you again to MagBak for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into the video.
All right, so we're here with the OG himself, OG Cyber Brian here. So this is your Cybertruck, right?
Yes, sir.
Not CGI.
It's a real plate.
It's a real plate. How long have you had your Cybertruck?
I've had this truck for about 1.5 years, and yeah, and going strong. It's great.
So you took delivery. You're one of the first to take delivery, right?
Yeah, early adopter.
And you've had some issues, like everybody.
Yep.
But you love the truck.
Great truck. Gets me where I want to go, and we have a really good time with it.
And you're the organizer, the head guy for Cyber Odyssey, right?
That's correct.
Tell everybody a little bit about the Cyber Odyssey. What do you guys do? What's kind of the idea behind Cyber Odyssey?
Sure. So Cyber Odyssey actually started off as a photo shoot with a bunch of trucks and a photographer in the desert. And after that event, a lot of folks said, hey, when's the next one? So that's when we said, we're going to make this Cyber Odyssey. We're going to start going to very iconic off-road, like random locations that most vehicles can't get to or most folks never been to. And so we've been out to Johnson Valley, out to Dry Lake Beds. We've been to the Trona Pinnacles, some of those Ford commercials and Dodge commercials. You may see those areas, and that's where we've gone with Trona. Also done
Glamis.
Yeah, we've done Glamis. That's another one we've done. We're about to do Pismo Beach. That'll be on the beach dunes. We'll have a showdown with some TRXs and Raptors out there, so don't miss that. Probably one of the most notable trips we had was recent, and that was the Reward Mine, which is an underground abandoned gold mine just north of Lone Pine. And we had to get up to the mountain, so we had to put the vehicles in extract mode, which is a great feature with the truck, so you can just tell it by the air suspension what height you want. And we got over the boulders, we got up there. Once we got there, we aired down basically enough to get into the entryway of the mine, and we drove about a half a mile underground into an abandoned gold mine. Great, these vehicles don't have exhaust fumes, so you could be underground without worrying about that. And then of course, if you've seen the post, we did an underground light show, so kind of a disco rave for Cybertrucks. So a lot of really interesting places we go. Love to have you guys out. If you got a Cybertruck, it doesn't have to always be a Cybertruck. It could be a Hummer.
It could be a Hummer.
It could be a
I'm
Vivian.
not shunned.
You're not shunned.
You guys didn't kick me out?
Nope. We got you, man. You're covered.
All right, sounds good. You have a lot of mods to your Cybertruck. You want to kind of show us some of the, better yet, what's your favorite mod? What's the thing that you've done to your Cybertruck? And it could be anything, cosmetic, it could be performance-based.
You know,
what's your favorite mod?
I guess I'll say what became my favorite was, I get a lot of comments about it, and we'll walk over here and I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
It's
you want to show us?
in the evening, you'll see it more so than the daytime, but here, if we look over here, I got these running boards, and I made this into a real project. And what happened here was, these running boards came with the cutout silhouettes for a Cybertruck, and I had plexiglass pieces made to put in here, and then I had 4-inch strips of LEDs that I had to solder together to make this sequence, and then I can just control it by an app. And at night, this really highlights the truck at night. People come up to it, never seen anything like it before. It's a pain in the butt to do it, but it really turned out great. That's a key. The vehicle obviously has underglow everywhere as well, in the wheel wells, underneath, wherever you go, practically there's underglow underneath this truck. And then of course we did the light bar in the front. So we've got it's sunny today, but you might be able to make out the fact that the LED is lighting up inside there. This plate I mentioned is a real plate. Yeah, I have the real license plates like that, but this actually is a plate that lights up and illuminates at night, so that's good for the night shows as well.
And that's legal?
That is not legal. Trust me when I say that. You have to have the real plate on there. They will pull you over. I can speak from experience.
Yeah.
So the wheels, these wheels, a lot of people ask about these wheels. These are the factory OEM wheels, believe it or not. They were powder coated. If you read it closely, Mars rated, how about that? Get a little Cybertruck on there. In order to get these 35 1250s on this rubber on these tires, on these wheels, we basically had to put unplugged performance spacers. There's 30mm spacers on these, so it kicks it out from the truck a little bit, gives it the clearance you need, because we air down when we go to the deserts. We need to get through this, clear this right here, because it's going to create a problem. Without the spacer, you basically put a credit card right in here.
Yeah.
Too close. You can drive it like that, but if you go do off-road activities like we do, you're going to need to air down at some point. So that's what we did there. Of course, we got the roof rack, the sand units up there in case somebody gets stuck in the sand. They haven't had to use those yet. Yeah, and then if we can go to the back, I guess we can look at the rear here. Let you get through.
You got to watch out. You know, these corners, they'll kill somebody,
will rip
right?
your arm off. So here we got these mollies right here. So you can mount pretty much anything you want in here. Today we're pretty empty. We took out our spare tire, took out a lot of equipment. But just to give an idea how much space you have back here in the Cybertruck.
And of course the Cyber Odyssey flag.
The Cyber Odyssey flag, letting everybody know we're here representing and recruiting people to come out to our events. Like I said before, it could be any EV vehicle that's capable of going off-road. Matter of fact, if you move that camera over there, look at that Model Y. That Model Y has been to several of our events. That's a very capable Model Y.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I know I've talked about it on the podcast and the Cyber Odysseys. The thing that I love about it is the fact that a lot of these Cybertruck owners never owned trucks, never went off-roading, and so someone like you who has experience, you're able to take people out, show them these areas that they've never been to, but also give them advice and teach them how to off-road. And also, like with the recovery gear, if someone was to get in trouble and they don't know what to do in that situation, you're there to kind of help. And you guys have done that. I've seen that. I've witnessed that.
100%. Yeah. So, and that's a great point. You know, number one, off-roading, number one rule, buddy system, right?
Yep.
Have somebody with you. Don't go by yourself.
Yeah.
You go by yourself, you could run into trouble, and then what are you going to do? Who are you going to call? And if you don't have connectivity out there in the middle of nowhere, that's a problem too. So a lot of us have Starlink, which is helpful too as well. So we have connectivity generally when we go out with the team. And then like you mentioned, those people have never had any experience, and let's say they do have experience, and they just get the truck. They may not even be familiar with the truck settings. And there's so many different settings you can set up in this truck. So it's really good to get familiar with the settings with people who've done it. And 100%. That's just kind of what we do. We have guys who are like, we would call, like their specialty is dunes. We all know Jerry and the orange Cybertruck. He's our expert duner, and he will give a little lesson on what to expect and how to deal with it, and what's intermediate driving versus expert driving. So we have different people that have different areas of expertise, and of course, it's always great to have people come out. And then it's funny because what you see is people grow into this, and then they start helping the other new people that show up, which is great. So it's a great community, and it's just a good time.
No, I love that you're doing that, and you're getting people out there, and letting them experience everything the truck can do, because the truck is amazing, right? Like it could do anything that regular trucks can do.
Minus the range.
Minus the range. The range, yeah, there needs to be more chargers at some of these destinations, but I know Rivian's doing a lot of that, right? And Teslas can use the Rivian charging network, so that's helpful. But yeah, and it's coming, right? The infrastructure's coming.
And the more you do the type of things that we're doing, and you modify your truck to go do those events, say like I talked about the wheels and tires situation, you're going to eat into your range, because Tesla makes these vehicles to achieve those numbers. And in order to do that, you know, they don't want that rolling resistance that we put on these trucks.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if someone buys a Cybertruck and they get the stock wheels, stock tires, do you recommend them getting aftermarket tires?
That's a great question. I guess the short answer is it depends. Because you have some people that when you use a truck day to day or do road trips and whatnot, and they're gonna be hurting when it comes to range.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going off road this week, or maybe I go off road with the Odyssey because we do it about once every 2-3 months. We do an event. So wow, if you're just doing it just for those events, well, that's gonna hurt you on the outside of those events. But I can tell you this: if we look at this truck that's parked next to me, what I call it the Galaxy wrap here, and we look at, he's got the factory Pirellis here. And he's been to Glamis. He took this into the gold mine. So he's been everywhere with the Pirelli. If he can do that with the Pirelli, it's all about just working together, airing down the tires, and getting out there doing that. You certainly can get out there and do that with the factory. And you know, you have the one step up, the Goodyears that have a little more aggressive tread. Those do just fine as well. But if you really want to go hardcore, you can go and do what we've done with our trucks. Several are running the KO3s, and I'm running a different type tire. But you know, it just depends on preference and what you're really trying to achieve out there. But these trucks generally can go where we're going for the Cyber Odysseys.
All right, before we wrap this up, let's get one last question in. Do you recommend the Cybertruck?
Sure.
Would you buy it again, and do you recommend it to people?
I recommend this vehicle to people. It depends on your lifestyle and what you're trying to, again, same thing I talked about off-roading and what you want to achieve with the vehicle. For my preference in this vehicle, I would buy it again for several reasons, and mainly based about the power in my home. I have PowerShare. I use PowerShare. We had the high wind events here in Southern California, and when the power goes out and the truck is plugged into its charge port, the truck immediately powers the house. I didn't have to buy power walls for my solar system. I've used my truck. So that's a big benefit to me. And so that's what I generally ask people. Well, how are you charging? Where are you charging? Where are you trying to go with the vehicle? Because there are other options out there that have much further range than a Cybertruck. And I would say that, you know, my biggest headache with the truck is range. But, you know, some of it's self-inflicted. But the big thing is that can you get out there and do that, you know, and drive long distances and, you know, charge at home, not charge at home, things like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Brian. Thank you as always. And once again, give them your information. Where can they find you?
So find me generally on Instagram. I'm posting regularly on Instagram. All the events that we're going to do are on Instagram. So OG_cyber_. That's where you can find me generally. I post there regularly.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So reach out to Brian. And if you want to come out to the Odysseys, it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. And so appreciate it. Thank you, man.
You might win a free t-shirt.
There you go. I don't have a free t-shirt. What the hell? All right, so now we're here with Jerry. Jerry has one of the most unique Cybertrucks that I've seen. You're really famous for all of the off-roading you do with Brian and the Cyber Odyssey. Let's talk about that a little bit. Where have you been? Where do you take the Cybertruck? And what is some of the cool stuff you've done with it?
I like to off-road in general, so I've been to Glamis, California, Pismo. Here locally, I like to go to Azusa on my weekends, on my time off. You know, a little bit of weekend warrior going there.
Yeah.
Sundays is usually a good day. That's right here in Azusa, the Azusa Canyon, OHV area. And then some of the modifications I've done.
Yeah, you got a lot of modifications.
I got a lot.
let's take a look at them.
Yeah.
A lot of them are performance-based for off-roading, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of the first and really kind of only guys that I know that has that bumper with the winch. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I originally, when I got my winch, I was doing so much off-roading that I needed a winch, but nothing was available yet.
Yeah.
And it was really hard for me to make a decision. And our good friends at T Sportsline helped me get this bumper on, and then ever since I looked at it, I knew that this was the bumper I was going to get. So now that I have this bumper, I mean, it is so heavily built. It's a little bit dry right now. I got these covers on right now, but ideally I'm going to get rock lights, fog lights. I still got a long ways to go with it, but we're getting there little by little. You know, the accessories are barely starting to come up after a year and a half, and then now we're starting to roll. So, I mean, but I really enjoy this bumper because of all the off-road capabilities that we do.
And this is how hardcore that Jerry is. You know, he's a hardcore off-roader, he brings rocks to shows. You know, look,
these are all the rocks that I picked up along the way. Yeah, so no, it just, I wanted to give it a unique look. I wanted to make it, you know, stand out a little bit, and you know, I think it looks nice. It makes it, you know, gives it a little bit of aesthetics. And I also wanted to show off for my good friends from Mountain Pass Performance, these Fukas. I just got these last week. I haven't really dialed them in, but if you zoom in right here, I also got these adjustable ride control arms that you can infinitely go up and down, and hopefully I'm gonna have time in the next couple of weeks to find the sweet spot. And by the sweet spot, the truck already comes with settings, right? Rugged, off-road, smooth. I'll be able to see if I can get in between those settings and find the sweet spot so it doesn't really jump as much as, you know, it has been on the original settings. So, you know, besides that, it also has infinite camber adjustment, you know, because, you know, I've been jumping my truck and doing all kinds of stuff, so I can't wait. But I mean, now that I've had these on here, I can physically feel the stiffness when I'm turning corners, you know, so I'm kind of really excited to try these off-road.
Yeah, no,
So,
that's I don't think I've seen anybody with that.
No,
You're the first, right?
I just got them. You know, we're showcasing them here at the Electrify show-off, Electrify Expo. And, you know, stay tuned and check out my videos at CyberOffRoad. And they're going to be coming up here pretty quick.
So you have a lot of mods, you have a lot of things. Let's kind of walk around the truck, but what's your favorite? What's the thing that you would say is your favorite mod? And it could just be cosmetic, it could be performance-based, but what would you say is your favorite mod that you've done to your Cybertruck?
Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, I kind of like everything, but I don't know about a favorite. It's going to be hard to say. I mean, I got these lights, rock lights from Martian Whips. Same thing over there in the back. I got all these whips too in the back from our friends over there at Martian Whips. You know, it's kind of hard to say. I love everything I've done so far. You know, from wheels, from tires, now suspension, bumper. I mean, I got a long ways to go. I'm, you know, trying to get some rock guards. You know, I got these. You know, I got a little bit of everything. You know, I got this light bar bracket from Cybertruck Co. And then I got this heavy duty, same thing from Cybertruck Co.
Yeah, our good friends over there at Cybertruck Co. Nice guys.
Yeah, I've been off-roading with the full-size tire. It matches perfectly to the wheels that I have, and that thing's been rock solid. And I mean, back here, I really just have the rest of my recovery gear. I got some, you know, some jacks in the inside. I'm really hoping that I can get an air tank in there at one point. So stay tuned for that. I mean, that's going to be my next project, but mostly it's all my recovery gear is up here.
And you got rocks.
And I got rocks. they just keep getting in the way. But you know, one thing I really would like is the rear bumper, man. Now that I have the front bumper, I'm kind of hoping I could get the rear bumper.
What the heck happened here?
That's just a little bit of character, man. That's what happens when you get stuck. And somebody, so what happened was I had the kinetic rope line, and somebody was pulling me out, and it just whiplashed and broke my license plate.
Wow.
From Reviver. It still works.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're not off-roading if you don't break something, right?
That's
so
true.
It gives it all character.
True.
If you go look around my truck, it's not the prettiest. I got
it's pretty. It's pretty
some
nice.
Scratches and you know, little bumps along the way, but yeah, it's pretty nice. But I like everything about it. I mean, little by little, everything's been carefully placed, and you know, it's still got a long ways to go.
How long have you had your Cybertruck?
I've had my Cybertruck for over a year and a half. I got it in January 2024.
So we got ours around the same time.
Yep.
Obviously, I sold mine. But number one, do you love it?
I love it.
Would you buy it again?
I would buy it again.
Okay. So now someone comes to you and says, hey, I'm thinking about buying one. Give me some advice. Like, what should I get? What should be my first thing that I buy for it? What should I You know, convince me. Once I get it, what should I do?
The best advice I would have right now, and if I know that sometimes Tesla has these offers for free supercharging, that's a big one, man. If Tesla offer, that's the one thing I don't have. I would jump on it in a heartbeat.
That saves a lot of money.
That saves a lot of money. I charge my truck 90% of the time at home, which that doesn't bother me at all. But I looked at the app, and it's a year and a half. I got $5,000 in.
Yeah.
So I could have already potentially saved $5,000 when I could have used another upgrades.
Yeah.
So that's, if you're thinking about buying a Cybertruck and they offer, you know, free supercharging, jump on it. That's a great deal. I mean, that would be my true advice. As far as the modification goes, I mean, that sky's the limit. I mean, you know, we didn't even talk about all this stuff in here.
All right, well, let's talk about it.
So, you know, obviously we go off-roading and...
Wait, I know this guy.
Hey, who's that?
Who is that guy? Who is that guy?
That's Buttery V.
So, let's talk about this for a second. So you put power in your frunk.
I did.
I've talked about it many times on my channel.
Yeah.
Frustrating for me.
Very frustrating.
That Tesla didn't do that stock.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you're paying $100,000 for a car, at least at the time that we got ours, and you don't have power.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating.
It's a little silly, right?
Yeah, it's a little silly.
I mean, I can't imagine this cost a lot of money to do.
It didn't cost.
You know,
it cost.
I don't understand why they couldn't have done it.
Yeah, I agree. No, they had everything there. I mean, it's only like 6 feet away.
Exactly.
Like, they could have just added it here, like every other manufacturer at this point.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But you know, I did find the solution. We ran an extension cord. I ran an extension cord from the back, through the side, and underneath, and then. I also added an inverter deep in here to transfer from the 110 to 12 volt to run my winch. So what I didn't want was to put another battery in here and take up more space. I'd rather have a microwave, you know, the fridge, you know, for my snacks, you know, but since I already had the power here, I just added this recessed plug in there. Now I could plug in my drone, whatever other accessories I want to charge here. You know, so it's also a work in progress. I'm thinking about making some sort of table so this swings out, and then I still have this out here, but then I could use my whole front as a kitchen.
Have you looked at the Escalade?
No.
EV? So we just saw this. They have their frunk is pretty deep, and then there's a tray that slides out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you could put like this
there?
stuff.
The one out here?
The one that they have with it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a tray that slides out.
I want to do that, but because this is so small, it has to be a swivel.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you
like a swing arm.
Yeah, like a swing arm, like the ones you use for the tire racks or the 4x4. So we're gonna go sideways like this, and then you're gonna be able to double up right here, double the room.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but now it's a work in progress. But I'm happy that I have this now. I got 110. I got 12 volts, so I can actually keep. You know, when I get my fog lights, when I get my rock lights and off-road lights, I'm gonna tap into the 12 volt system, and I'm not have to worry about, you know, trying to tap into that 400 watt.
Yeah.
You know, off-road lights take a lot of juice.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I'd rather have it at 12 volt, and it's a 1500 watt inverter, 125 amps, so it should be plenty to power anything that I want.
Nice. Well, I appreciate it, Jerry. Thank you so much. Beautiful truck.
Thank you.
And why don't you give everybody that's watching your information? Where can they find you? Where can they see your content?
Yeah, you can check me out on YouTube. I'm trying to, you know, grow my channel a little bit on YouTube. CyberOffRoad. Same thing on IG and TikTok. You know, big shout out to Eric. You know, I mean, I'm actually trying to be you.
But I don't know if you want that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, go ahead and check out the videos. You'll be surprised. They're not AI. They're actually real videos of real trucks. And then
doing really cool stuff.
Really cool stuff, man. And if you have any questions, you know, feel free to reach out, and then I'll do the best I can to answer them.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Jerry. Appreciate it.
it.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.